Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Today we are going to discuss about somatic hybridization, as it is important topic for semester and examinations. And moreover, we have discussed this topic long back. So that is the reason why I want to recall the topic once again. And what is somatic hybridization? Somatic hybridization, it is the process of production of hybrid plant by fusing the protoplasts of two distinct species. It is the process of production of a hybrid plant by fusing the protoplasts of two distinct species. Hello, am I audible, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible? Okay. Somatic hybridization is the process of production of a hybrid plant by fusing the protoplasts of two distinct species, two different species. Usually, in conventional breeding methods, it is not possible to produce a hybrid plant between two distinct species, as there is incompatibility. There is incompatibility. The pollen grains of one species may not germinate on the stigma of other species. So that is what we call incompatibility. Incompatibility is there. Due to incompatibility, hybridization or pollination will not take place. As a result, we are unable to produce a hybrid, but we can produce interspecific as well as intergenic hybrids through somatic hybridization. Somatic means vegetative, vegetative cells. Here we are going to fuse somatic cells. So that is the reason why the process is called somatic hybridization. And first somatic hybrid was developed by Peter Carlson and his colleagues in tobacco. And they called this process as parasexual hybridization because they fuse vegetative cells. There is no involvement of sexual cells, right? So that they called parasexual hybridization. And here you can see a somatic hybrid. Best example for somatic hybrid is pomato. This pomato is the somatic hybrid which is produced by fusing the protoplast of tomato and potato. This hybrid can able to produce tomatoes on aerial shoots and produce tubers underground. So both the traits or characters present in one plant, present in a hybrid plant. So in this way, we can overcome the problems which arising in cross hybridization. It is not possible to produce a tomato through conventional breeding methods. Conventional breeding methods లో మనం ఇట్లాంటి plant ని produce చేయలేము. ఎందుకు అంటే there is incompatibility. Tomato pollen grains potato stigma మీద germinate అవ్వవు. Vice versa. Potato pollen grains కూడా టొమాటో స్టిగ్మాస్ మీద జర్మినేట్ అవ్వవు. అందువల్ల మనం ఒక హైబ్రిడ్ ని ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయలేం. in between different species or two distinct species, right? And somatic hybridization involves 4 phases. There are 4 phases in the process of somatic hybridization. Number 1, isolation of protoplast. Number 2, fusion of protoplast. Number 3, selection of hybrid cells. Number 4, identification of hybrid plants. These are the 4 different phases that are involved in the somatic hybridization procedure. Isolation of protoplast, fusion of protoplast, selection of hybrid cells, identification of hybrid cells. I think I have given all these points in your notes also. I have provided notes through Google Classroom, right? I think I have given all these points in the notes of somatic hybridization. First phase is isolation of protoplast. Second phase is fusion of protoplast. Third phase is selection of hybrid cells. Fourth phase is identification of hybrid plants. First, we need to isolate the protoplast of two distinct species. So we can isolate the protoplast with the help of enzymes. With the help of enzymatic method is more frequently used method to isolate the protoplast, where we use 2 types of enzymes, cellulase and macerosin. We can isolate the protoplast with the help of these 2 enzymes. So this is the best method. The physical method is there, but the protoplast yield is very low in physical method. So that is the reason why usually we prefer enzymatic method to isolate the protoplast. Right? Coming to second phase, after isolation of protoplast of two distinct species, then we need to fuse the protoplast in order to produce a heterokaryon or a hybrid cell. Fusion. We need to fuse the protoplast of two distinct species. There are different methods. Let us discuss one by one. So here, isolation of protoplasts. Protoplasts are isolated from the cells either through mechanical method or enzymatic method. Just you mention briefly about the isolation of protoplast. Okay, don't write too much about the isolation of protoplast. Just you need to mention brief notes to this point. So we can isolate the protoplast either through mechanical method or enzymatic method. In enzymatic method, we use 2 types of enzymes, macerozyme and cellulose, and enzyme mixture is used. Enzyme mixture is used to isolate the protoplast. After isolation, protoplasts are subjected to purification, centrifugation and purification, right? So you have to mention all these points under this first phase, that is isolation of protoplasts. After isolation, so protoplasts are isolated from the roots, stem, leaves, meristematic tissue, pollen grains, callus cells, etc., callus tissue, etc. And second phase is fusion of protoplast. We can fuse the protoplast by various methods. They are categorized into 2. One is spontaneous fusion and other one is induced fusion. Spontaneous, usually during the process of isolation, protoplasts fuse spontaneously. But spontaneous fusion occur during isolation. So that is the reason which is not ideal. The protoplasts of the same species are fused. But our aim is to produce a hybrid plant. But in spontaneous fusion, what happened? Protoplasts of the same species are fused. So that is the reason why those fusions are not useful for our experiments, right? Induced fusion. Here, we induce the protoplast fusion by using various agents. Here, based on the agents which we are going to use to fuse the protoplast are categorized into 2 types, chemical fusion and electrofusion. Chemical fusion and electrofusion. In chemical fusion method, we use chemicals like PEG, DMSO, etc., calcium ions, etc. With the help of chemicals, we can fuse the protoplast. With the help of chemicals, we can fuse the protoplast. Spontaneous fusion. Protoplast during isolation often fuse spontaneously, and this phenomenon is called spontaneous fusion. Simple physical contact is sufficient to bring about the spontaneous fusion among the similar parental protoplasts. Induced fusion, based on the agent which we are using in induced fusion, it is of two types. One is chemical fusion and other one is electrofusion. In chemical fusion, fusion is induced by some chemicals. These chemicals are known as fusogens: sodium nitrate, PEG, polyethylene glycol, calcium ions, polyvinyl alcohol, and another chemical DMSO is also used. DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, is also used to fuse the protoplast. Sodium nitrate, polyethylene glycol, divalent calcium ions, polyvinyl alcohol, DMSO, etc. So with the help of these chemicals, we can fuse the protoplast of two distinct species or two different species. Generally, chemofusion technique are followed in most of the induced fusion experiments. Coming to electrofusion, where we use mild electric pulses. Mild electric simulations is being used to fuse protoplasm. Here, mild electrical simulations mean AC and DC pulses. Both are used. AC pulses as well as DC pulses are used in electrofusion, but in mild strength electric pulses are used. This technique is known as electrofusion of protoplast. Two glass capillary microelectrodes are placed in contact with protoplast. Glass capillary microelectrodes. Inside the capillary tubes, there are gold what we call gold electrode is present inside the glass capillary. Gold electrode is made up of gold, right? So here protoplasts are in contact with two electrodes, cathode and anode. Protoplasts are placed in between the two electrodes. One is cathode and another one is anode, positive and negative electrodes. Then an electric field of low strength, that is 10 kilovolts per meter, gives rise to dielectroporetic dipole generation within the protoplast suspension. Some of the protoplasts are positively charged and some of the protoplasts are negatively charged. And these positively and negatively charged protoplasts are get attracted with each other, and ultimately they make contact with each other. As a result, protoplast chains are formed. The protoplasts of two distinct species are first come together and make contact with each other. Then, due to the DC pulse, protoplasts are attracted by each other, and because of AC pulses, the membrane where the two protoplasts are in contact with each other, the membrane is disintegrated. So due to the disintegration of the membrane, a gap is formed in between the two protoplasts. Through this, the cytoplasms of two protoplasts are fused or mixed with each other. Later on, the nuclei of two protoplasts are fused. In this way, protoplast fusion takes place. As a result, a hybrid cell is formed, and this hybrid cell is called heterokaryon. Heterokaryon is formed, and here you can see this is the machine, computerized machine, which we are using for the fusion of protoplasts. And same machine is used to fuse electroporation. That is the method of gene transfer. BTX, electrocell manipulator, is the machine which is used to fuse the protoplast. we can feed the program how much AC pulse is required, how much DC pulse is required, and what is the duration of both the pulses. We can set all these parameters. After setting the parameters, electrodes are connected to this machine. Just by pressing the start button, first DC pulse is released from this machine, and this DC pulse cause attraction in between the two protoplasts of two distinct species. Later on, AC pulse is released from this machine. That AC pulse causes fusion of protoplasts of two distinct species. Here you can see in another picture, and this is the procedure of electrofusion. Here you can see this is the glass slide. This one is the glass side. Here you can see this one is electrode, and this is the other electrode, and protoplast suspension is placed in between the two electrodes. So due to DC pulse, the protoplasts are aligned and form a chain-like structure. Opposite charges are formed in the protoplast. As a result, protoplasts are attracted by each other. So in this way, negatively charged and positively charged protoplasts are attracted with each other and form a line. And because of AC pulse, the contacted protoplasts are fused with each other. In this way, hybrid cells are produced. Am I clear? ఎవరైనా ఒక రెస్పాన్స్ ఇవ్వండి అమ్మా. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
సార్ వాయిస్ చిన్నగా వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
Let me increase. ఇప్పుడు ఓకేనా? ఇప్పుడు ఓకేనా? శ్రీవిద్య, now it is okay? అమ్మా వినిపిస్తుందా? శ్రీవిద్య, hello, is my voice audible or not?
Yes, sir. వినిపిస్తుంది. తను లెఫ్ట్ అయింది కదా సార్.
Srividya left అయిందా? Okay, no problem. So shall I move to next one? So here it is the whole process of protoplast fusion. So whatever the agent which you use it to fuse the protoplast, but the procedure is same. So here you can see this is the protoplast of one species and this is the protoplast of other species. Both the protoplasts have nucleus, right? And due to attraction in between the two protoplasts, the protoplasts are come closer and may contact with each other. And the common point where the protoplasts are contacted with each other, here you can see this is the contact point of two protoplasts where the plasma membrane disintegrates. As a result, the two cytoplasms of the two distinct species protoplasts are fused first. Here you can see two different nuclei. So fusion of or mixing of two cytoplasms are completed. Now the cell is round, and here you can see two nuclei of the protoplast, two distinct nuclei. Here you can see two nuclei are present now, and this is what we call heterokaryon. Two different nuclei are present in the hybrid cell. Later on, the two nuclei are fused. As a result, a single nucleus or hybrid nucleus is formed, and now the cell is called hybrid cell, or you can say somatic hybrid. This cell is next placed in the regeneration medium to produce a hybrid plant. This is the next phase, right? This is the overall procedure of somatic hybridization. Yeah. Next, after hybridization procedure, all cells may not fuse in the suspension or in the solution. Some cells may fuse, and some cells may not fuse. So we need to select the hybrid cells from the normal cells. We need to select. And what are the procedures here? So methods used for the selection of hybrid cells are biochemical methods and visual methods and cytometric methods. Yeah, here you can see biochemical method, drug sensitivity method, and auxotropic mutant selection. These two methods comes under biochemical methods. Here you can see how we can select the hybrid cells with the help of drug sensitivity method. Here you can see protoplast of Petunia hybrida and protoplast of, Petunia, other species is there. Species A and species B, Petunia hybrida, and other species is different, right? Protoplasts are isolated from both the species. Then protoplasts are subjected to fusion. Some of the protoplasts are subjected to fusion. Here, the protoplasts of species A, hybrid protoplasts, and protoplasts of species B are cultured in the medium with actinomycin D individually. In one Petri plate, we culture the protoplasts of species A. In second Petri plate, we culture the hybrid protoplast. And in third Petri dish, we culture the protoplast of species B. And in all three Petri dishes, culture medium is present, and this culture medium is fortified with actinomycin D. Actinomycin D. And one more important thing is here you have to remember, one of the species or the protoplast of one species must have resistant to actinomycin D, and other protoplast must sensitive to actinomycin D. అమ్మా ఇక్కడ మన రెండు స్పీసీస్ తీసుకుంటున్నాము, రెండు స్పీసీస్ ప్రోటోప్లాస్ట్ తీసుకున్నాము. ఇందులో ఒక స్పీసీస్ ప్రోటోప్లాస్ట్ కి కొంచెం రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఉండాలి, ఇంకొక ప్రోటోప్లాస్ట్ కి సెన్సిటివ్ గా ఉండాలి యాక్టినోమైసిన్ డి యాంటీబయాటిక్. సో ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ పెట్రీ డిష్ లో మనం స్పీసీస్ ఏ ప్రోటోప్లాస్ట్ తీసుకుంటాం, సెకండ్ పెట్రీ డిష్ లో హైబ్రిడ్ ప్రోటోప్లాస్ట్ తీసుకుంటాం, థర్డ్ పెట్రీ డిష్ లో స్పీసీస్ బి ప్రోటోప్లాస్ట్ తీసుకుంటాం. సో ఇక్కడ మనం కల్చర్ మీడియం మీద అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తాం గ్రోత్ వస్తుందా రాదా. Here you can see the protoplasts of species A have resistant to actinomycin D. That is the reason why they can able to grow in that culture medium and produce microcallus, up to microcallus, but they do not show further growth. If you see the protoplasts of species B, they do not grow in the culture medium with actinomycin D, as they are sensitive to actinomycin D. But here you can see hybrid protoplasts can able to grow in the medium with actinomycin D. They form macrocallus and callus. Ultimately, they produce hybrid plants. So in this way, we can select the hybrid cells with drug sensitivity method. So here, subjective condition is one of the species or the protoplast of one species must have resistance to actinomycin D. That is very important. And other species, the protoplast of other species is sensitive to actinomycin D. So in that case only, this method is useful. And the second method is auxotropic mutant selection. Usually auxotropic mutants do not grow in the minimal medium. Auxotropic mutants do not grow in the minimal medium with nitrate. So here protoplasts of species A are the auxotropic mutant protoplasts. So that is the reason why they are not able to grow in the medium. And here you can see Protoplasts of bee is also do not grow in the medium, but the hybrid protoplasts of these two species can able to grow on the culture medium. Cell colonies are formed, callus is formed, hybrid plants are formed. Auxotropic mutants are the mutants. They do not grow in the minimal medium. They require special growth regulators. They require special growth regulators. But here, the hybrid cells can able to grow in the minimal medium and produce hybrid cells. Okay. Auxotropic mutants are the mutants. They do not grow in the minimal medium. Minimal medium is nothing but the medium without growth regulators. The medium without growth regulators. So in this way, you can select the hybrid cells with the help of biochemical methods. One is drug sensitive method and other one is auxotropic mutant selection. You have to mention both these points in the examination. Coming to visual methods. So here it is tedious but efficient method. In some hybridization experiments, albino protoplasts are fused with green protoplasts. So we can easily identify the albino protoplast and green protoplast. The hybrid of these two protoplasts, half of the cell is green in color, half of the hybrid cell is green in color, and half of the hybrid cell is colorless, or you can say white in color. So based on that, we can select the hybrid cells simply by visualizing under microscope. It facilitates the visual identification method, a very simple method, but tedious. For this, we need microscope, phase contrast microscope. With the help of microscope, we can select the hybrid cells. But condition is the two protoplasts are in different color. The two protoplasts must be in different color. There are cytometric methods, flow cytometry technique, fluorescent activated cell sorting techniques facilitate the selection of heterokaryon. Just you mention this point, that is enough. No need to write in detail. Flow cytometry, fluorescent activated cell sorting technique, or facilitate the selection of heterokaryons. So these are the three methods we use for the selection of hybrid cells. Biochemical methods, visual methods, biochemical methods, visual methods, and cytometric methods. Here you can see methods used for the selection of hybrid cells are biochemical methods, visual methods, cytometric method. There are two types of biochemical methods. One is drug sensitivity method and other one is auxotropic mutant selection method. Drug sensitivity method and auxotropic mutant selection method. Under visual methods, which is very easy but tedious, but accurate. But here, subject to condition is that the protoplasts of two distinct species must be in two different colors. The protoplasts of one species must be in green color, and the protoplasts of other species may be in white color or colorless. Then only it is possible. Visual method is possible. Under cytometric method, there are different methods used to select the hybrid cells. Flow cytometry and cell sorting techniques are used for the selection of hybrid cells. So you have to mention all these points in the examination. Okay. Next, the fourth phase in somatic hybridization is identification of hybrid plants. So this is the final step in somatic hybridization. Identification of hybrid plants. This is the final and last phase in the somatic hybridization. So common approaches for the identification of morphology of hybrids, isoenzyme analysis, chromosomal construction. Those are the three methods: morphology of hybrids, isoenzyme analysis, chromosomal construction. Morphology, just based on morphology, we can identify the hybrid plants. Morphological features of hybrid plants or intermediate between two plants can be identified. At the starting of this session, I have shown a picture that is pomato. That plant, that hybrid plant exhibit intermediate characters in between tomato and potato, isn't it? Hybrid plants or intermediate between two plants can be identified. Tomato easily identified based on the morphological features. On aerial shoots, it produced tomatoes, and on underground shoots, it produced potatoes. So simply we can identify by seeing the plant, that is hybrid plant. For this, vegetative and floral characters are considered. Here you can see. Simply by seeing the plant, one can say that which is hybrid plant. On aerial parts, it produces tomatoes, and on underground parts, it produces potatoes. So based on the morphology, we can identify the hybrids when it is intermediate in between two plants, right? Coming to next method, isoenzyme analysis. Multiple forms of an enzyme catalyzing the same reaction are called isoenzymes. Different forms of an enzyme, but they catalyze the same reaction. So here, by analyze electrophoretic patterns of isoenzymes have been widely used to verify the heredity or hybrids. So we can isolate the enzymes, isoenzymes from the plant cells, and they are subjected to electroporation. After that, you will get electrophoretic patterns. By observing those patterns, so we can identify the hybrid varieties or somatic hybrid plants. Somatic hybrids possess specific isoenzymes of one or the other or both the patterns. ఇక్కడ వచ్చినటువంటి హైబ్రిడ్ ఐసోఎంజైమ్ ప్యాటర్న్స్ అయితే ఒక పేరెంట్ తో గానీ లేదా ఇంకో పేరెంట్ తో గానీ లేదా బోత్ పేరెంట్స్ తో గానీ మ్యాచ్ అవుతుంది. ఐసోఎంజైమ్ ప్యాటర్న్స్ ఇది హైబ్రిడ్ యొక్క ఐసోఎంజైమ్ ప్యాటర్న్ అయితే వన్ పేరెంట్ తో గానీ లేకుంటే ఇంకో పేరెంట్ తో గానీ లేకుంటే బోత్ పేరెంట్స్ ఐసోఎంజైమ్ ప్యాటర్న్ తో మ్యాచ్ అవుతుంది. సో అట్లా మనం ఐడెంటిఫై చేయవచ్చు. వీ కెన్ ఐడెంటిఫై. And last one, chromosome constriction. The number of chromosomes present in the hybrid cells can be directly counted. The somatic hybrids possess chromosomes that are equal to the total number of chromosomes originally present in parent protoplasm. If one of the parent have 15 chromosomes, 16 chromosomes, 2n is equal to 16, and other parent have 10 chromosomes, but hybrid plant possess 16 plus 10, 26 chromosomes. The total number of chromosomes is equal to the number of the chromosomes present in two parents. So in this way, we can identify the hybrid plants, and later on you have to mention about the applications of somatic hybrids. Novel interspecific and intergeneric hybrids are possible. Several interspecific and intergeneric hybrid resistant varieties have been created, and genes responsible for the tolerance of cold, frost, and salt could be successfully introduced through somatic hybridization or through somatic hybrids. Somatic hybrids for the production of high nicotine content and low erucic acid have been developed in tobacco. A modification of somatic hybrids in the form of hybridization has been made it possible to transfer cytoplasmic male sterility. Cytoplasmic male sterile plants can be produced through somatic hybridization. Yeah. Somatic hybrids has helped to study the cytoplasmic genes and their functions. And with this, yeah, there is one more topic. A somatic hybrid does not always produce fertile plants. You no need to mention these points in examination, Amma. Protoblast culture is frequently associated with genetic instability. Somatic hybridization between two diploids result in the formation of an amphidiploid, which is not favorable. Somatic hybrids are often variable due to somaclonal variations, chromosomal elimination, organelle segregation, etc. So one thing you remember, మీరు ఈ లాస్ట్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో సొమాటిక్ హైబ్రిడ్ డస్ నాట్ ఆల్వేస్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ ఫెర్టైల్ ప్లాంట్, ఇదంతా అవసరం లేదమ్మా. అప్లికేషన్స్ వరకు మీరు ఎగ్జామ్లో రాయండి సరిపోతుంది. మీకు ఏమైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగండి అమ్మా దీంట్లో, విచ్ ఇస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఎగ్జామ్లో వస్తుంది కాబట్టి బాగా చదవండి. ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగండి మీకు దీంట్లో. If you have any doubt, you please ask me.